If you watch streamers, you should definitely reconsider your life choices, okay? Now look, obviously I'm over-exaggerating, yeah? Watch whatever the hell you want to watch, okay? I don't care. However, if you are not where you want to be in life, then 99% of the time, watching streamers is the last thing you should be doing. Now, don't get it twisted. I think, at the end of the day, it's not that deep. Watch whatever you want to watch. And we all want to cool off sometimes and just watch some brain rot stuff, yeah? When it's girls, they might want to watch, like, some... they might want to watch some reality TV like Love Island or whatever, and guys, you might do some gaming or whatever. It's okay to cool off. It's fine, but if you're not where you want to be, it's the last thing you should be doing watching streamers, especially people like Kai Cenat and stuff like that. And I'm not even saying on a hating one, because actually, for real, big up to people like them, yeah. But in situations like that, when it comes to big streamers, the reason I'm not a big fan of it, I do like streaming, I do want to do it myself, but in more of a productive way. But the reason I'm not a big fan of all these streamers is because in these situations, yeah, it's a very unequal value exchange, yeah. Like, let's say Kai Cenat has 100,000 people watching him, yeah. I swear to God, literally, Kai Cenat is the only one benefiting, yeah, and 100,000 people are just basically wasting time, okay. Now, if you're laughing and enjoying it, look, that's fine, yeah. I'm trying to say this with a few caveats so I don't sound like a complete twat, yeah. Watch what you want to watch, but it's just not always the best thing you should be doing. I saw a tweet, yeah. Let me show you this tweet. I saw a tweet that came up on my homepage on Twitter, and the way Twitter is these days, they basically just show you bare tweets like it's a For You page, and you see things that you don't necessarily want to see all the time. And I saw this. Kai Cenat has activated a power hour segment where all subs on Twitch count for 6 seconds instead of 3, as he currently only has 1 hour left for Mafiothon 3. This means that if the timer runs out, Mafiothon 3 would end on day 15. Can you believe that, guys? That is crazy, yeah? Now, all jokes aside, yeah, I see these tweets and they come up on my page like it's breaking news. Like, bro, can you believe it? Mafiothon 3, Kai Cenat's only going to make £100,000 this hour instead of 50,000. Can you believe it? Like, I see these things and I just think to myself, come on, guys, do better. Yeah, as someone who wants to pattern up and become the best version of yourself, the last thing you should be doing is watching streamers, okay? Now, firstly, donating to streamers, don't even get me started on that, okay? If you're donating peas to streamers, pattern up your life, okay? But yeah, when it comes to streamers, yeah, I don't necessarily mind all streamers. There's some streamers that, it's okay. Someone like, for example, I saw a clip of Marlon, one of the most popular streamers recently, yeah? And he was talking about, I think he was just giving advice on how to pattern up as a guy. I think he was just talking about, like, cutting out sugar and waking up early and all these little things. And I think, bro, if you're watching streamers and they talk about stuff like that, that's amazing. But for a generation of people who waste so much time, because don't try and cap, we all know that we waste a lot of time, especially on our phones. I'm mainly speaking for myself here, but if you relate to this, then sick. It's not a good thing, but yeah, we waste a lot of time. So as someone who wastes a lot of time already, to waste even more time to watch stuff like streamers, yeah? Like, picture this, for example. Let's say you're always scrolling on TikTok or social media, whatever it may be, yeah? And then you've already wasted a few hours of your life doing that. And then when it comes to actual leisure time, you're just watching straight brain rot. For me, I really, really struggle watching stuff that is just pure entertainment. I like to watch stuff that has a bit of value in it, because I know myself. Yeah, I know myself. I waste hours daily, astaghfirullah. Yeah, I waste so much time scrolling anyways. So when it comes to time for me to actually just chill and bake off, yeah, the last thing I feel like doing is watching something that's just, pure brain rot again. I like to watch stuff that's got a bit of value in it, whether that's a podcast or whether that's like, something entertaining where it doesn't really exist that much. That's what I want to create myself. But, fun content which actually has either education, inspiration, substance, some sort of message or meaning to it, yeah? That's why me personally, I can't really watch like Beta Squad videos and like Sidemen and stuff like that, only because nothing to do with them, they're smashing it, but I waste so much time throughout the day anyways. So when it comes to time for me to chill, I can't sit and just watch 30 minutes of like a Beta Squad video where it's just pure entertainment. I don't have time for that. I'm not where I want to be in my life right now. There's so many things, I should be making more money, I should be in better shape. There's so many things I need to be doing, and I'm not getting anywhere closer by watching a Beta Squad video or whatever. No shade to them though, like, bro, I think it's sick, but as a personal goal of mine, I should be doing much more things, you know what I mean? Like, for example, waking up earlier, patterning up with my life and doing other things, watching stuff like that is not always the best thing. And yeah, what I would say is basically why I wanted to talk about this is I thought, you know what, let me give a few tutu tips on what I would do instead of watching streamers, yeah. And this is for advice. Like, look, if you want to bake off and you want to chill and you want to have that time off, that's fine. But a few things that I would like recommend instead of just watching streamers is, well, I've got a few things, okay? So the first thing I had written down, yeah, is this is for people who actually like to do a bit of gaming, okay? Now, I'm not a big gamer like that. I don't really play too many games. I prefer flipping classic PS2 games, bruv. Give me flipping the OG Cars game. I'll take that over any of these recent games, bro. These new games are not as fun anymore. Yeah, that's the conversation for another day, okay? I'm still angry about Skate 4, bruv. Oh my god. But what I do is slap on the game and put a podcast in the background. Yeah? I know it seems pretty simple, but if you are going to waste time playing a bit of a game, then that way at least you can listen to something at the same time, because I get some people can't even read these days, or they're not even taking in any information. So if you are, someone who likes the game a little bit, slapping on a little bit of, someone like Alex or Mosey, or someone who's got some real substance where you can just listen. Even if you're not fully concentrated, it's better to like have that kind of information just subconsciously getting inside your brain, yeah, whilst you're playing or whatever. So at least that way you're at least, you're having fun, but you're actually learning at the same time, if that makes sense. Like, if I do jump on like my PlayStation just to play a little, I don't know, I barely play these days, innit? If I'm just maybe swinging about on Spider-Man or driving around on GTA, it's literally all I do, then what I would do, or even play a bit of Call of Duty, I would have something on in the background. So at least that way, it's like two birds, one stone. I'm having fun, but I'll be listening to something entertaining. I'll be listening to something informational at the same time, because watching videos like that, sometimes we just don't want to do it. We don't want to watch 30, we don't want to listen to 30 minutes of someone like Alex or Mosey just talking about brutal, honest advice. You need to get rich. Like, everyone's talking about it these days. It doesn't necessarily always not benefit, but it's hard to sit through a video like that. So if you make the habit enjoyable by, playing a game at the same time and then listening to it, at least that way, it's good for you. Do you know what I mean? So that's one thing I would say. A second thing I would say is make some content yourself, yeah? Now, if you are a content creator especially, don't be such a flippant consumer all the time, okay? You should at least either create some content yourself, and if you feel like people, streamers are not giving good value, be the streamer that actually gives good value. Like, become a streamer. I'm an advocate for it. Start streaming, and when the people watch you, do your fun and games. Make it entertaining. Don't just take this as me saying, yeah, don't be a fun guy, don't be entertaining. Do all the funny stuff. If it means a bit of brain rot here and there, that's cool. Like, make it funny, because if you don't make it funny, entertaining, people aren't going to come anyways. People wouldn't want to watch someone who's just always lecturing all the time, yeah? Basically what I'm doing right now, but people don't always want to watch this, okay? So do that, but if you think that there's something lacking, be the person to fill in that space, yeah? A little gap in the market. Give a bit of, for example, let's just say you're someone like Kai Cenat. Imagine Kai Cenat, yeah, was getting on people. Obviously, don't listen to this advice, Kai Cenat, yeah, because obviously I'm not the guy to be giving streaming advice. But imagine if he had people on that was actually educating the youth, but in a fun ass way. Like, it's funny because Kai Cenat, but you've actually got people who are spitting some wisdom. Instead, bro, I see clips of like Ice Spice twerking on the streams and stuff. Like, bro, if you're sitting there watching that stuff, pattern up, man. There's so many better things you should be doing with your life, and watching these flipping thoughts just start twerking is not what you should be doing. Do you understand? So I would say, if you're a content creator or you like making content, then, be the person to fill that gap. That's one thing you could be doing instead of watching streamers, okay? So basically what I'm trying to say is, don't be a consumer, be a producer, okay? And the third thing I would say is, this one's going to be a bit difficult for you people these days with a bad attention span, myself included, but get into reading, okay? Now, I'm not at home right now, but usually if you watch any of my videos, you can usually see I've got bare books on my desk, okay? And those aren't just for show. I actually read them, yeah? It's been a while since I've been reading because my attention span itself has been cooked, but get into reading, man. Now, the reason why I'm a big advocate for reading is because it's just something that is a good habit to do, and if you just replaced half an hour of screen time with reading, you would just feel a bit better, because I'm not, like, in this day and age, it's very hard to read because there's so many moving things. Like, I feel like we feel very busy all the time. There's so many things that need to get done. And, bro, I ain't got time for reading, fam. Reading. But, really and truly, bro, if you back out your phone right now and go to your settings and see your screen time and you see that you spent 3 hours on TikTok today, bro, you have time for reading, okay? It's just a better alternative for scrolling on social media. It's just something that I think is good. And read something that is actually beneficial, you know, fiction, non-fiction, whatever it may be, actually, to be fair, but something that's just gonna, you know, it's just a good habit to have. Like, for example, me recently, I've been trying to go to bed early, you know, before 10 o'clock. And what I do is I put my phone on the other side of the room, and I get my book. I just try to read for a little bit, half an hour, read like a bit of a chapter or whatever it may be, and I'll read. And you know what they say is it's not good to have your phone on you before bedtime. That's very true. And I don't like having my phone next to me anyway, because let's say I don't use it before bed, which is a lie. I use my phone all the time. But if I wake up and I see my phone next to me, the first thing I want to do is just start scrolling and stuff. So a good thing to do is get that phone away from you. So anyways, these are just a few little things that I would recommend to do instead of watching streamers, okay? Now, big up all the streamers, yeah? Big up Kais and that, big up Speed. These guys are doing sick. Like, you know, they're doing amazing things. However, as a viewer, someone who needs to pattern up in their life, watching them, especially, you know, all the time when there's so many other things you could be doing, is not the best use of your time, okay? So that's all I'd say. Yeah, love.